not subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button as shown above. Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology, and today I am making a very different kind of video, and this video is on why not to commit suicide, and I want to convey this as a message to today's younger generations and actors of today. So as I was making this video some time back, I just read about the news of an actress committing suicide today. And in the past also, I have been hearing from many people that they want to commit suicide. It could be students, actors, people who are not doing well in their job, people who had a divorce or a breakup in love life. Now, the message is whatever happens in life, never try to end it yourself. Now, first thing is, before you even think of taking such a drastic step, pause for some time and reflect on your belief system. It is only when you devalue yourself, when you feel you are worthless, or when you feel nobody is valuing you, it is then that you feel like ending your life. It means you have reached a point where you feel life itself is meaningless and there is no point in continuing further. Now, what are the various reasons for which one may contemplate suicide? One of the most common reasons why students commit suicide is because they are scared of failing in their exams. They have failed in an actual exam. There is the fear of parents scolding them. There is a guilt of having scored less in the exam. There is a guilt of what the society will think about me if I have not achieved so and so status in life. Then there are situations where you may want to give up on life because somebody has left you, somebody whom you valued very much has left you. For example, your girlfriend or the death of a very close family member. All this can emotionally disturb you and make you feel life is worthless. Other reasons could be not getting along well with your family members, with your siblings, with your bosses. Another reason could be you have been fired from your job, or you had heated arguments with bosses and colleagues in your workplace. Another reason could be that you are highly qualified but you are not finding a matching job. And last and final reason could be economic reasons like losing your job, not getting the desired role in the film line, not having economic safety. And the last reason I can think of is about a terminal illness. The pain becomes so unbearable that you want to end life. So basically, in all these scenarios, you desire to run away from the pain, the guilt, the shame, or the lack of status or power. And so you contemplate committing suicide, thinking that my life will end and that is a full stop. But now pause for a second and think, will committing suicide really end the pain, really put an end to everything? Now, first try to understand life itself. Life is an evolving journey. You are first born as a baby, you learn to crawl, you learn to walk, you are surrounded by loved ones, you grow up slowly, you may get opportunities to work, to study, you enter the youth stage, You may then get married, enter into partnership, get children, and then finally, old age comes in, wherein your body starts losing strength slowly, and eventually the body dies its normal course, which we refer to as death. But when a person dies, does he really die? He still lives in the memory of his family members, of his very close friends. So before you think of committing suicide, always think about what impact it will have on your loved ones, your near and dear ones, especially your children, your wife or spouse, and your parents who truly love you from the bottom of their heart. Now, as you go through this journey of life, at every point you are bound to meet with certain amount of happiness and certain amount of sadness or trauma. On the path, you are bound to experience challenges. Now remember, when you were born, you had no clothes on you. It was your parents who gave you clothes. You learned to crawl slowly and then you learned to walk. Now, when you tried to walk, you might have fallen n number of times. When you try to drive a cycle, for example, you will fall multiple times, but eventually you will learn to drive that cycle. Now, when you fall, you are bound to get pain, you are bound to get hurt, and you may feel like crying because of that pain. But remember, it is that very fall that makes you take up the challenge and continue learning to cycle or to walk. And that is the real essence of life. You have to learn to face your challenges. Just falling down once does not mean that you cannot get up again and try again. Nothing stops you from getting up again and trying afresh. And definitely, if you keep trying, at one stage, you will succeed or you will change your path and do something different. So, if you want to progress in life, be ready to fall multiple times. Be ready to suffer the pain. Because without suffering that pain, you cannot move to the next stage. You cannot grow up in life. And that is the essence of life. Now, when you fall the first time, when doing any activity, let us say you are learning to cycle and you fall down, you are bound to experience pain. But you should learn something from it. Introspect and see what exactly you did wrong, why you fell. If you need someone to support you or you need support wheels to be attached to the cycle, then get that done. So, with that necessary support from your friends, from your near and dear ones, you will learn to tide this tough journey and eventually succeed. But what happens if you refuse to get up itself once you fall? Then you will never learn to cycle, you will never learn to walk, you will never learn to progress in life. And you have died a natural death at that point itself. So the failure is not in falling down, is not in getting pain, is not in getting suffering, but it is your refusal to get up again after falling down and not trying again, which is the real cause for your failure. Now remember that life is always a series of progressive steps. To become a postgraduate, for example, you may have to pass the matriculation exam, then you have to pass the graduation exam, and finally you can go for the post-graduation exam. Life is similar. To attain higher goals, you have to attain a series of lower goals first and then progress to the higher goal. So now you may say that I am finding a challenge in attaining the lower goals itself. How will I reach the highest goal which I am aspiring for? See, if you are not able to cross the barrier of a lower goal, you need to do a self introspection. You may have to change your direction in certain cases. For example, many students struggle with doing engineering, but if they really look inwards, it may be that they are not oriented for that career line. They may do better in a commerce line or maybe in some other line. So once you realize that you are not oriented for a particular goal or a particular line, be ready to make a course correction in your life. Do not give up on life itself. Now, if you think the whole world is very much bothered about you, everyone is very much concerned about you, everyone keeps looking at you only, it is not like that. Let me tell you, in this real scenario, we are nothing more than a speck of dust. Look at the world from an aeroplane and you will see all the buildings appear very small. And when you see yourself from higher altitude, you realize that you are really just a speck of dust on this earth. So, one of the reasons why people want to end life is because what others will think about them if they don't achieve a particular goal. So, they develop a kind of guilt within themselves. Now, if you understand this concept, nobody is really bothered about you except your parents, your spouse, your children, and maybe some very close friends. So, the point I am trying to make here is don't get swayed away or be disturbed by what other people will think about you when you fail an exam or when there is a breakup in your love life or your spouse has divorced you or anything has happened, say you have lost your job. Don't worry about what others think about you. It is important that you value yourself first. Let others laugh at you, mock you, scold you, let them do anything. It does not matter. You have to learn to value yourself first. Know that as a creation of God, in whatever state you are today, even if you are a beggar, if you are a very poor man, you are an extremely beautiful creature and you are very wealthy. Now, why do I say you are very wealthy? Suppose I ask you, I am going to give you 10 million rupees, but you give me your two eyes. Will you give it to me? I will give you 40 billion rupees. You give me both your feet. Will you give it to me? Your obvious answer will be no. So you have such valuable things with you. You have two God given eyes. You have a beautiful face. You have beautiful hands to work for. And you have feet with which you can walk. So learn to express gratitude for even the small things which we all take for granted every day. These are special gifts from God. And life itself is very valuable. It is not something which you are really permitted to end since you cannot create life. Learn to live life in a very simple way. Don't run behind status, don't run behind power, don't run behind money. It will all come to you automatically when you learn to express gratitude for the smallest things you have in life. Live a very simple life, wear simple clothes, walk down to your office or to your school if it's nearby. Don't indulge in unnecessary things such as substance abuse, drinking alcohol to show off to your friends, because eventually these bad habits will cause a downfall in your life. And walk away from people who do not value you. If your friends do not value you, change your friends. If your siblings do not value you, try to mold them. But if you cannot change them, Change yourself. Don't indulge more with them. Move away from them. So, anything that is obstructing your progress in life towards a higher goal, move away from those negative things. Remove feelings of revenge, remove feelings of resentment within you for anyone, because that also creates a block in your path. Only be with those people in life who really love you, who really value you, and move away from all negative people, all negative emotions, all negative things step by step. If you are in a bad marriage, do not hesitate to divorce. If you are in a bad job, do not hesitate to take up a smaller job and get a lesser salary. There is nothing wrong in that. Don't be bothered by what other people think about you. Think about yourself first and take the right steps in life, and then you will realize that life is really valuable and worth living. Now, let me come to the spiritual side of life after death. Now, many people believe that death is an event which ends everything. It is never like that. In the Gita, Lord Krishna says that the soul never dies, the soul only changes bodies. It keeps on going through the cycle of life and death based on the past impressions or what you think at the moment of your death. So, if you are having feelings of guilt, resentment, sadness at the moment of your death, or the moment when you are contemplating suicide and you actually kill yourself, in your next life, you will again have to go through that entire cycle of sadness and pain. So, it is not an end itself. Death is not an end itself. Where death occurs, life again begins based on the past impressions. So, if you have carried those feelings of guilt, those feelings of resentment, those feelings of hatred, those feelings of shame, those feelings of depression, then in the next life, you will get a body in which those same feelings will be carried forward, and you will have to face the same challenges till you overcome those challenges and learn to face them. You cannot progress to a higher goal. So, in reality, suicide is a meaningless action. You will attain nothing by doing it. On the contrary, you are creating more suffering for yourself in the next life. And Lord Krishna says human life is very rare. It is after thousands and millions of birth that you really get human life. So, human life is actually an opportunity. Only a human being can stand on 2 feet and look upwards. All the animals look downwards because they walk on 4 feet. So, it is only the human being who has the power, the potential to look up to God and achieve God in an easy way. So, the message is you are a special creation of God. God has made you wealthy by giving you 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 feet, 2 arms. And definitely, God has given you the potential to achieve whatever you want, provided you have the right set of beliefs and the right attitude in life. So, friends, be prepared to fall, be prepared to experience pain, be prepared to get hurt, but don't forget to rise up again once you fall, because that is the only thing which will take you on the path of progress and towards the highest goal that you want to achieve. Never give up on life. Suicide never solves any problem. On the contrary, you will suffer the same problems with more intensity in the subsequent lives. So, friends, learn to face challenges, be bold, and enjoy this journey of life. Do not give up on it and do not do foolish acts such as suicide. Remember, you have a debt towards your loved ones also, and think about them. Think about what all they will face if you are not there in their life. Life is very precious, and friends, live life to the fullest. Do not do foolish things such as suicide, as it will take you nowhere. Now, before I conclude, what are the combinations in the horoscope that can cause a person to move towards suicide? One is if the moon is very weak, especially in the 8th house of the horoscope, and is afflicted by Ketu in particular, it can give you suicidal thoughts. If Jupiter is in Maran Karaka Sthan, that is in the 8th house, and Jupiter is surrounded by malefics, Jupiter is Jiva Karaka. So that can also give you suicidal thoughts, as it will affect your belief system and cause you to devalue yourself. If Mercury is in Maran Karaka Sthan, or if Mercury is badly afflicted, then it impacts your decision making ability and you can take a wrong decision. So, if you have these combinations in the horoscope, what should you do? You should focus on the 5th house of the horoscope and chant mantras of Lord Vishnu. Now, why am I saying this? The 8th house in the horoscope is the house of longevity, and 8th from the 8th is the 3rd house, which is actually the house of death. So, if there are malefic planets in the 3rd house, it can drive you towards death. Now, 3rd from the 3rd house is the 5th house, and it refers to the death of death itself. 5th house is nothing but love, children, knowledge, and mantra shakti. So, if you chant mantras such as the Gayatri mantra, Vishnu Sahasranam, these negative thoughts, these negative energies will get destroyed. So, make sure that as part of your daily routine, you either chant the Gayatri mantra 108 times or the Vishnu Sahasranam daily at least, or any other mantra of any deity you believe in, because that will drive away the negative energies and suicidal thoughts within you. Regardless of the situation, always have a guru, a person to look up to, because guru is Jiv Karaka, and guru is the one who gives you higher knowledge and prevents you from taking such wrong steps. Lastly, stop eating tamasic food such as red meat, raw meat, etc., because the food you eat also impacts your thought process. So change your food habits. Chant mantras early in the morning or as part of your daily routine, and have a guru in your life or a close friend in your life to look up to, and such thoughts will then never come to you. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button. For any queries, email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. To know more about us, visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.